After hiring Ben Johnson earlier this year, the Chicago Bears have wasted no time in making improvements, specifically to their offensive line room. Over the last 2 days, they have added guards Jonah Jackson and, more importantly, Joe Thuney, the back-to-back All-Pro from the Kansas City Chiefs, to bolster their offensive line heading into year 2 with Caleb Williams. With Ben Johnson at the helm, new offensive linemen in the building, and more additions to come, there is a clear vision and blueprint in place for Johnson as he heads into the Windy City. Let's look at these additions and see what they're going to bring to the table for this Bears offense that was severely lacking in that department in 2024. We all know about what Joe Thuney did for the Kansas City Chiefs, sliding over to left tackle in the back half of the 2024 season. But in Chicago, he's going to be able to slide in at that left guard spot where he is used to, provide some stability, some veteran leadership, and really be the anchor of this offensive line, depending on if they go and get a star left tackle like Ronnie Stanley. But you'll see Joe Thuney in pass pro, let alone run blocking, but even in pass pro, is excellent. He provides Mahomes the time here. He's able to make the throw to the outside. And reps like this might seem simple, but Joe Thuney is so consistent. He is maybe the best pass block win rate offensive lineman in the entire NFL, and he's immediately going to boost this unit in Chicago. One thing that you'll notice with Joe Thuney is he picks up stunts well. He uses his eyes. He stays in his lane. He doesn't really try to do too much, and he's able to pick up guys twisting and coming across right here. Max Crosby is going to be coming off of the edge, and you'll see him twist over towards Thuney. Thuney makes his initial block right here. Then you got Crosby trying to come in here through the A-gap. Thuney resets his feet, gets around, doesn't make a clean block, but gets enough time for Mahomes to where he can get rid of this football before Max Crosby gets there. Run this back. You see the twist around. Thuney's able to make this. If he doesn't, the Bears, we're going to show this later on, but the Bears struggled with this a lot. If he lets Crosby just get a free run at Mahomes here, it could be an errant throw. He could just eat it and take the sack. These are small things to some, but Joe Thuney makes a big time difference just in pass pro before we even get into the run blocking. We've seen Joe Thuney years back in a Super Bowl go one-on-one a lot with Aaron Donald and have success. Here he is going one-on-one against Quinnen Williams right here. Again, it's not a dominant rep, but he does his job here. He holds off Williams. Mahomes is able to make this throw to the outside to Travis Kelce. This is actually last year in 2023, but Joe Thuney just provides a lot of time and a lot of one-on-one situations. Doesn't get as many double teams, doesn't get as many chips as other guys at the guard position, and he is just as elite as they come. When it comes to the run game, Joe Thuney is equally as dominant, especially as a pulling guard in the run game. Right here you see him again at guard. He's going to shoot out of there quickly, lay this block as the pulling guard, and make enough room for Isaiah Pacheco to get this first down. And, everybody has to do their job on a run play. There's no one player that can just make the play most of the time in terms of the blocking. But right here, Thuney does his part, creates this crease for Pacheco with Kelce sealing this defender off, and it ends up being a big-time first down run for Isaiah Pacheco as he cuts up the field, gets to midfield on a drive that the Chiefs eventually scored on. Same game here against Denver. You see Thuney come out pulling once again, and he's going to create this hole for Isaiah Pacheco. See him coming across right here, seals off number 0, creates this hole for Pacheco to come through, and once again, he aids Travis Kelce, who's kind of the last block right here for Isaiah Pacheco. Thuney keeps 0 sealed off. Pacheco fights through and gets down inside the 5-yard line, and it all starts with the athleticism and the pulling ability of Joe Thuney to create this hole. Joe Thuney also has the ability to climb to the second level really well as a guard. This is a play with Kadarius Toney against the Bills in 2023, and check out Thuney right here immediately climbing to the linebacker Terrell Bernard. Toney's going to get another block from guard Trey Smith here, and Thuney is just leading the way. He's got pretty much 2 guys blocked off with his own body here, allows Toney to make a play, get up the field, and get a big-time gain for the Chiefs. Played in full speed here, gets to the linebacker, gets in the way of another defender, and sets up a big gain of 10+ for Kansas City in the run game with his athleticism climbing. Thuney will be the golden anchor on this Bears offensive line for Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, and company in 2025. Over the last 3 years, he has a pass block win rate north of 98%. He's pretty much perfect pass blocking, allowed just 11 pressures at left guard before shifting over to tackle. The Bears left guards last year allowed 32 pressures between the two guys with the most snaps, and they were 15th in pass block win rate as an entire unit. Thuney will bump both of those numbers up incredibly right off the bat, creating a brick wall on the left side of that offensive line, especially if they can hit on a tackle in the draft or in free agency. Now for Jonah Jackson, who was acquired the day before Joe Thuney by the Bears. Now, Jackson did not play a whole lot due to injury in the 2024 season for the Rams, but in 2023 with the Detroit Lions, he saw a pretty good share of snaps at left guard. Obviously, he will shift over to right guard in Chicago with Thuney hitting in as well, but he is a big guard who takes up a lot of space and clogs a lot of lanes in a good way for the offense. And he also moves pretty well for his size. Here against the Atlanta Falcons in 2023, you are going to see him get out of there. Another really good puller, gets to Jesse Bates and is able to make a block, helping Jahmyr Gibbs get a gain here near the first down marker. And again, these aren't all going to be explosive type plays, but just showcasing the ability, the fundamentals of these offensive linemen. And it also is no coincidence that he has played in a Ben Johnson scheme before in Detroit. Here's Jackson going one-on-one head up with Grady Jarrett against the Atlanta Falcons, and he's going to kind of lose at the end of this rep here, but he gives Jared Goff more than enough time, and he is a much better one-on-one pass pro guard than what the Bears are accustomed to over the last year. I think he'll be a big help in that department for Chicago. We'll get to a couple right guard clips from his time in LA this season here in just a moment, but here's Jackson once again on the left side, and he's going to clear out a hole in the run game for a rookie, Jahmyr Gibbs. Great block, creates the hole. All it takes is a one-on-one miss that Jahmyr Gibbs creates, and he gets him inside the 10-yard line. Run it back here for Jackson. I mean, that's great pad level, great physicality, washes him to the outside, and creates this big gap that you see here for Jahmyr Gibbs. Creates a lane for the running back, which is going to be huge, especially if the Bears decide to go the Ashton Jeanty route. Here he is late in the season for LA. I believe this is the last game of the year, actually, for LA, where he is at right guard now, and you'll see him in pass pro taking the rep right here. He's able to shuffle his feet, get to the left, and create enough time. Again, not a resounding, dominant block, not even necessarily a pretty one. He kind of gets beat on the initial move, but he shuffles his feet, gets underneath the pads of the defender, and is able to actually get him on the ground and end up getting a pancake block, and that's got to be encouraging if you're Chicago. Another good rep up front here by Jackson in the run game. Not a huge flashy gain, but he's able to get underneath the pads, drive him out to the left, and clear this defender out. That's exactly what you want to see from your guard, that kind of physicality. He gets helped by 71 to begin, and then just drives the defender out to the left. Maybe a little bit of holding, but all in all, an improvement from what Chicago had this past year. Obviously, Tevin Jenkins, last year's left guard for the Chicago Bears, will not be returning with the two guard additions. And it's an easy thing to see that it's a massive upgrade for Chicago when you turn on the tape and you see plays like this. Check Jenkins on the left side. I mean, he is just going to get bullied and shoved out of the way, forces an errant throw by Williams with the pressure with an open man. With Joe Thuney, that pressure isn't getting there. Williams is able to set his feet, throw calmly, no pressure, and it's an easy completion. These are the small things that I think will add up for the Bears offense next season. I mentioned the Bears not being great at picking up stunts this season. Right here, that's exactly what you're going to see. You're going to see number 2 on the Cardinals end up coming right here in the A-gap as Jenkins and the left tackle are both focused right here on this edge rusher. 2 comes across. Jenkins has his shoulders completely turned to the sideline, and it's an easy pressure for Arizona. Caleb has to run out of there, and the Cardinals end up getting the sack, all because the Bears were not able to pick up this stunt, and Williams came under immediate duress. I know that people think that Caleb Williams was just running for his life, and there is some truth to that. He was kind of scrambling a little bit too much. He was a little indecisive, but plays like this are not an example of that. You're going to see Jenkins get beat again. Williams has to step up, step to his right, then move to the left, has a tackle in his way, and throws an errant ball, all because Jenkins just gets immediately beat here by 99, forcing Caleb under pressure. And this is one of Caleb's better games, too. This is one of the O-line's better games, and there were still plays like this showing up on tape. That's not going to be the case with Thuney coming over from KC. One more from Jenkins, which in his defense, he is still a young player, but just to highlight the disparity between him and Joe Thuney, check this out. Zadarius Smith is going to end up hitting the spin move on Jenkins off the left side. It's going to immediately flush Caleb out. Once again, has to make a Houdini act even to get away from the pressure, then has to throw this ball away. Not able to let anything develop down the field. Completely different story, I think, that we're going to see in 2025. Jonah Jackson at right guard will provide two things for the Chicago Bears. One is stability. There were three guys that played over 100 snaps at right guard for the Chicago Bears last season. Number one of them was Matt Pryor. Pryor's going to be lined up right here, and he's just too slow. He has slow feet, he has bad pad level, and I think that Jonah Jackson immediately gives them better production in that spot. I mean, he's just going to get beat with speed and finesse here easily. It leads to a sack of Caleb Williams. He's just too slow. He's not athletic enough, and I think that Jackson is a definite upgrade in that department. Right here against Washington, you're going to see Pryor overcommit on his man. You see him blocking, I believe that's Johnny Newton at first. Newton is going to start to come around the edge. Could leave this to Darnell Wright right over here. Instead, he sticks with Newton, and the defender to the right of Newton starts to slip right inside of Pryor's gap, and it leads to a sack of Caleb Williams because Pryor got too locked in on Newton, left his gap open. These are the kind of things that these two guards changed tremendously for me. Then in the run game, showed you the athleticism of the two guards as pullers, including Jonah Jackson, specifically him here. You're going to have Pryor, the right guard. He is going to be trying to pull around the corner here to block the end, and it does not go well because he simply does not have the speed. He's too slow to get there, and the play is blown up before he can even meet 57 on the edge. It's already over with. When he tries to make this pull, he just takes a bad angle. He's too slow. 57 bends the corner, makes the TFL. These are the kind of things I think are going to be going away big time. The Bears' biggest struggle in 2024 was offensive line play, not helping build confidence at all for their rookie signal caller. They are trying to alleviate that by immediately adding two stalwarts at the guard positions to improve this unit come 2025, and I don't expect the moves to be done either. The Bears will be an interesting team to watch in 2025, especially up front. If you liked this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and get ready for more Blitz Sports Media content coming your way very soon. We'll see you next time.